I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. I'm going to lay out the parts and pieces to make the arbor. But first I have to make a drawing, something to work from. A lot easier to make lines on paper and erase them than it is to find a new piece of steel and cut it. Especially in times like these when the steel store is closed. So sit back, relax, get yourself a cold or a warm beverage if you prefer, and I'll take you through the process that I use to lay out an assembly. The grindstone is 25 3/4 inches in diameter. It's 2 3/4 of an inch thick. In the center, it has a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 inch hole. To make an arbor for the hole in the center, I need to make a 3-inch box. The problem I have is, the only piece of material I have to work with right now is this 3-inch by 2-inch box beam. This section of box beam cut off 2 pieces 3 inches long, split 1 in 2, and add that piece onto one side of the 3-inch box so that I end up with a 3-inch by 3-inch box. This being the 2-inch over here and the 1-inch over here, welded along this seam. Then I'll take that 3-inch square box and attach it to a 6-inch diameter circle of 1/4 inch plate steel, like a big washer. That big 1/4 inch plate washer will be welded to one side of the 3-inch by 3-inch square tubing that I'm fabricating. So I'll end up with a piece 2 3/4 inches long from here to there, 3 inches square, with a 6-inch circle, with a piece of 1/4 inch plate welded on the end of the tube. I'll have holes drilled in this to accept 5/16 bolts. The 5/16 bolts will pass through another one of these 6-inch washers with a 5/8 hole in the center. The bolts will pass through the 1/4 inch plate in the end of this and align everything. They'll come over here and fasten onto that into the tapped holes on the sides of the plate. I think I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to put nuts on this. In the future, if someone decides that they want to take these bolts out and they won't come loose, you can just cut the heads off or cut the nuts off and disassemble the arbor without having to go through all the trouble. 100 years from now, somebody's going to thank me for that. So this will be the crank, one on either side, pointed opposite directions. That way the treadles will be able to cause the wheel to turn. This is a full-size drawing of what the arbor is going to look like. 3-inch box tube in the center, 5/16 through bolts, 4 of them, 5/8 shaft. This is an old arbor from a grinder that I have. It was a made-up piece that somebody had bolted together out of a line shaft, a couple of ball bearings, and a pulley. I'm going to just remove the pulley and use the shaft itself as the main. That way I'll have a full set of ball bearings on the ends, nice threaded holes to put the crank arms on, and I think I should be able to make that work. Better set it for a 3-inch circle. That's 1.5 inches. Use a brick punch to mark it. Now some people get the idea that this is supposed to drive a hole deep enough to actually start a drill. Some materials it will, but most of the time it's just there to give you a dent. Something to set the point of the center punch into. So you can mark it. In this case, I'm using it as a pivot point for one leg of the dividers. And then come out and mark where the holes are going to be. Like so. Then we repeat the process. Cut this section off, and then cut this section off. Split this section in two so that this 1-inch side remains. Then I weld the two sections together. That will make my square box. These 6-inch plates will end up making the washers to hold the stone. Now I just have to bore all the holes and weld, and now I just have to bore all the holes in this plate, and this. Then cut this tube into sections, get it welded together, weld this plate on the end of it. Sounds easy. Probably going to take me a couple of days. Well, that part's done. Now all I have to do is all the drilling and welding and assembly, grinding, mounting. Hopefully, won't be any problems with it because the steel I have is all the steel I have. If I screw up something, I don't have another shot at it. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union, without the express written permission of the parents or legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.